everyone. We are so glad to have you all join us today. So, this session is brought to you by Atulit Academy, founded by Radhika Kautha, a dedicated learning designer and corporate trainer. Her work is centered on equipping professionals with the practical tools they need to navigate today's workplace challenges with ease. Her mission and the core of everything we do is built on three pillars: clarity, confidence, and ownership. Today's webinar, Busy All Day, Replaceable Anyway, has been designed to be both high level and highly practical. And to ensure we have a smooth session, please keep a few quick points in mind. Please keep your microphones muted to ensure the best sound quality for everyone. We invite you we invite you to use the chat frequently for your thoughts and questions, and make sure to stay with us until the very end, as we'll be sharing an exclusive resource created to support your professional growth. So before I hand it over to Dipali ma'am, let's address something we all participate in but rarely question. Being busy has become a badge of honor, but here's the uncomfortable truth: busyness is not value, visibility is not impact. Today is not about blaming employees or management, it's about exposing a system we are all silently sustaining. So, the next couple of questions are for you, participants. How many of you felt exhausted yesterday? Just raise your hands. And how many of you can clearly state what you owned yesterday? Now we head on to the introduction. Dipali Goyal ma'am, a communication and soft skills specialist with a decade of expertise in professional development. She has a unique gift for simplifying the complex, a skill she has mastered by bridging the analytical world of chemistry with the art of communication. As a lifelong learner and dedicated trainer, she excels at turning intricate ideas into clear, everyday strategies. We are thrilled to have her insights with us today, and over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome. Busy all day, replaceable anyway. I have two requests to make to you. One, if you could switch on your cameras, it would be lovely. And second, please keep a pen and a paper handy with you. Okay. So, on this note, we start our session for the day. I'll just have a school revision for you. You have to fill in the blank. Please unmute yourself and answer. Dash away keeps the doctor away. And a very easy one. Please unmute and answer.
Should I?
Yeah, please, Frija.
It's a very standard phrase. An apple
Right,
a day
right.
keeps the doctor away.
Absolutely. An apple a day keeps a doctor away. Now, the second question, again, a school example. Now, this fruit actually prompted the mighty Newton to give his laws, to formulate his laws. Which fruit am I talking about? Yes, Jay, I could.
Adipali,
Yes, yes,
could
Sujata.
you repeat? No. Could you repeat it for me?
This is one fruit. So Newton saw it falling from the tree,
The same
and
apple.
it's the apple.
Same.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's the apple, right? And it's an apple, yes. And then the third question. Again, it is a name of the fruit, and a partly bitten fruit is the logo of a famous company.
Again, an apple.
Yeah, so it was a hat trick of an apple, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so this brings me to what I wanted to talk about. I'll take you to Apple, the company Apple, and it goes back to 1997. There's a name which is synonymous with Apple. Anybody, any guesses? Like for me, when I think about Apple, Steve Jobs is immediately what comes to my mind, right? So, what did Steve Jobs do in 1997? To everybody's surprise, he just cut the product line of Apple. Whereas competition was busy expanding their business, what did Steve Jobs do? Steve Jobs stuck only to three basic products: Mac, iPod, iPhone.
Yes.
Why did he
Yes.
do so? Why did he do so? Because he clearly recognized the USP of the Apple. That was design. So he focused his entire energy on Apple. He and his team focused all his energy on these three products. So what basically he thought was, he thought that Apple needed more of clarity. So instead of managing the chaos, he chose clarity. So out of focus and clarity, he chose out of focus and clutter, he chose focus. Right? And so this is not about Apple, this is a pattern. So sometimes what we feel is, we feel that we are busy all day, and the end has the last of the day. At the end of the day, we don't find that the day has been fruitful. Maybe it is dependent upon our choices. And how many of us all here know about Elon Musk?
Yeah, we know.
Everybody, I think we've heard about Elon Musk. Now, there are two famous companies of Elon Musk, SpaceX and Tesla. Now, in 2000, what had happened was, both of these companies were at a verge of getting bankrupt. Obviously, all the efforts were being done to bring these companies out of the problem. Now, what did Elon Musk do? Elon Musk, in a meeting, asked his employees that, what have you done this week which will make the company go forward?
Okay.
So suddenly the shift was from not how busy you are. The shift was from what is the outcome of the week. So Elon Musk very clearly chose between outcomes and effort. He chose outcomes. And what was the result? Within a few months, first privately funded rocket was launched. Now let me ask you this question. If Elon Musk asks you this, that what is it that you have taken forward this week, do you get an answer immediately? Or this question has made you uncomfortable? If it has made you uncomfortable, that's exactly why we are here. Just remember one thing, that high achievers, they may not be the busy people around, but they are the ones who do right work at right time. And somehow what has happened, we people have thought that being busy is some kind of a medal which we have to display all the time. But let me make one statement out here. Every time a person who is busy may not be valuable, and visibility is always not impactful. Again, I'm coming back to Elon Musk. What he said was, it's better to work on right thing than to work many hours. Isn't that important? In the session, are you understanding what I'm saying? Please give me a thumbs up for this. Thank you so much, Suruchi, Sujata. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So now let's break the illusion. Again, I need to ask you a question. Thank you. I again need to ask you a question. How many of you feel that a person who is overloaded with work is the most valuable person around? Give me a thumbs up for this if you agree with this, agree on this or not. A person who's got a lot of work at hand. Do you think that person is valuable? Jay says no.
No. No, not at all.
Okay, that's perfect. So every time a person who's overloaded with work may or may not be valuable, Sometimes the person may only be overloaded because he or she is always available. They are always available, whether needed or whether not needed. But when you are available like this, you're obviously taking too much on your plate, and then you become busy all day and replaceable anyway. So if you are available for work, it is very important to take ownership. One of you could please help me with what do you mean by ownership? Any one of you, could you tell me what is ownership?
I could answer that for you, Dipali.
Please, Prida, please go ahead.
So, ownership is something when you take responsibility for the task at hand.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily that it is given to you, but it's basically voluntary.
Yes, it could be voluntary and it could be given to you also, right? So thank you so much, Frida. That's the correct way. Ownership is something where you are not just taking control, you are taking full responsibility of of the outcomes. Good, bad, ugly, that's irrespective of that. You're just accepting, you're owning up the results. So whenever I talk about ownership, I always remember about our Dr. APJ Kalam. So, when SLV-3 launch failed for the first time, Dr. APJ Kalam did not explain, he did not blame the technology, he did not blame the conditions. He simply came in front of the nation and said that we failed and I take the responsibility. That's ownership. As a result, what happened next year? The mission succeeded. And in this time, he gave the credit to his team. And out of ownership and blame, Dr. Kalam chose ownership. And although he gave the credit to his team, but still, we all know the kind of reverence this person still enjoys because he knew what to do at the right time. Meetings. The next illusion to be broken. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down when I say that more the meetings, more the contribution. Jay has already nodded his head in negative. Rahila says yes. Sujata, everybody agrees out here. Most of you who've given me the response, Frida, Suruchi, everybody feels that meetings are not equal to contribution. So, I just read a funny line. Meetings are where minutes are taken and hours are lost. Right? So there's this one uncomfortable question for you. Suppose if you disappear from work for 3 days, would the work continue or would it stop? Would somebody even notice that you're not around? Right? So if this question is making uncomfortable, we may be busy, but we are not contributing in the right way to the outcomes. Just remember that most people are not overloaded, they are just over-invited. So you may not be in demand, your calendar may be in demand. There's this report of McKinsey 2023. It says that 50% employees report being relatively unproductive at work. Another one says that 83% employees spend one third of their time in meetings. And the time of meetings has been increasing every year after 2000. Okay, enough of talking about others. Let us talk about ourselves. So I told you to keep a pen and a paper handy. So there is this small activity for you. I think Insia, you can change the slide. Just go back to yesterday or maybe day before yesterday. Write down a few tasks or meeting. Insia, you can change the slide. So you just make 3 columns in your paper. It is there in front of you. The first column says task/meeting. Second says owned or attended. And the third says outcome. I'll just give you a minute for it. Please draw it and then write down the task. It's up to you. 1, 2, 3 tasks, whatever you want to write down. So once you are done, please give me a thumbs up and then we'll go ahead. Are we done? So just like you can just revisit yesterday and write on the task or the meeting you had, whether you've owned or attended the meeting, whether you did make a difference to that task, and what was the outcome that was created.
Well, can I share mine?
Yes, we can take one of you can share. Yes, but I think we'll
Yeah,
have
for me it was 50-50%, Deepali. 50% task I
okay.
feel like yes, I owned it and the outcome was created, but 50% it was just for the sake of joining the meeting and doing my task, but not very serious or not getting the actual result, which which should be the real outcome at
Perfect.
this
That is an honest answer, Sujata. Thanks for that. So what Sujata has done, I would want all of you all to do that. Just out of these tasks which you have listed, just see that how much of your work created a visible outcome, and how much of your day, how much or how many of your meetings was a mere presence. And if you were your manager for yesterday and day before yesterday, what is the review report you would write? So you can keep the data for yourself and please analyze it for yourself, because just remember, busy all day, replaceable anyway. This is something which we are talking about. So whatever, I think you must have got some kind of an insight into what your 2 days have been like. And this is something which gets more interested. It is not about you or me. It's about both the sides. Let us talk about this. Let's have a dual perspective. One is for the employees and the other one is for the management. A question for all of you. Sometimes do you say a yes to some task because you feel that why to get into the discussion part, or everybody else is saying a yes, let me also say a yes. Why create some kind of a doubt about myself? Do you feel sometimes you say a yes just because of sake of saying a yes? Anybody, not anybody, everybody, please let me know with the help of your thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do you feel that sometimes you say a yes? Sujata says, Suruchi, Insya, Rahila. I think all of us, we do at times. At times we do say a yes because we don't want to cut out a sorry figure in front of everybody. When all of us is or everybody is saying a yes, we feel that no. If I don't say a yes, my senior would probably feel that I do not know. So we say a yes. And we say a yes sometimes just to avoid accountability. And how many of you agree with me on this? That sometimes when we are busy, we enter into a safe zone. We will not get extra work. How many of you feel that? Yes, Suruchi, Rahila, Sujata. Yes, I think all of us, we do this. Sometimes we do realize it, sometimes we do not realize it. So basically, when we are getting busy without any kind of an ownership, we are not affecting the outcome. And yes, it becomes a shield. Saying yes becomes a shield. It's a way to stay busy and you won't be held accountable also. Now, what happens from the management point of view? Those of you who are managers or who have seen the managers closely, just tell me this with the help of a thumbs up. Do you feel that sometimes the senior management also rewards those people who are more visible or who appear to be busy? Do you feel sometimes this does happen? Suruchi says yes. Sujata says yes. Rahila says yes. Yes, it does happen sometimes from the management point of view also, that visibility gets rewarded. And sometimes the employees are busy because of the poor delegation quality of the management. They do not delegate the work clearly. And when work delegation is not done properly, you will be busy all day, replaceable anyway. There's this separate topic division of labor in economics. Delegation is that very important. And sometimes management feels that instead of making a decision, let's have a meeting. Sometimes the end result of the meeting may be a new date for a new meeting. That would be the only decision made. But this does happen sometimes. So if we want fast acting relief, we have to slow down. We have to slow down and start thinking. We have to think about what is it that is making us busy, and is it actually helping me to deliver outcomes or not. So the next thing we are going to talk about is that how to move from being busy to being busy positively. So this is the ownership filter which I want to talk about. Ownership filter. So whenever a task comes to you, and if you have the right to say a yes or a no, please scrutinize that task through this ownership filter. First is, am I owning this or am I supporting this? Am I the hero or am I the side hero? We can be the side hero or a side heroine sometimes, but only when we want. Second filter, what outcome will exist because of me? And will this be visible in a review conversation or not? If all your answers are no, 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 you should not have accepted the task which has been given to you. Another writing work for you all. Pen and a paper handy, please. Again, any 5 tasks. You can write on any 5 tasks whatever task you remember. And let these tasks be scrutinized by these filters, the ownership filter. I hope you're writing it, please. Any 5 tasks, and you have to scrutinize it through this filter. Am I owning this or supporting this? What outcome will exist because of me? And will it be visible in the review conversation? Are we done? See, I'm not writing, that is why I'm being super fast. Had I been writing, then I would have understood. That takes time to write. Okay, Frida's done, Sujata's done. Should I proceed further? Okay. So now what you have to do is, undergo the scrutiny and see that which of the task has passed all the filters. And which of the task hasn't passed any of the filters. So now you know where to say a yes and where to say a no. And if all your 5 tasks have passed all the filters, you get 100%, great. If it hasn't, you need to work upon it. And somewhat, if you are in the middle, find out the percentage. Find out the percentage of the tasks which you are owning and percentage which you are just supporting. Do we know about a book called as 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
Yes.
Rita knows about it. Jata knows about it. Yes, Radhika. So I think we have heard about this book called as Ruchi knows about it. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So it has been authored by Stephen Covey. So what did he say? Just listen to this statement. I found it very interesting. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. So when we take decision at the right moment, we get busy in the right way. And that is what is required. I'll just give you an example. I'll give you two examples, one from a workplace and the other one from our daily life. So the first one is that you are you are working in an office which is preparing for a product launch in next 6 months. Officially, you are not a part of that project, but somehow you are intrigued by that project, and every now and then you just go there and you give your inputs. And some of your inputs are really brilliant, which have been incorporated also. After 6 months, product is launched and the entire team is praised for the work they've done. But since you were never an official part, your name is nowhere around. How many of you will feel disheartened if such a thing happens? You have given your inputs, but your name is not there. How many of you would feel disheartened? Nobody would feel disheartened if you worked and your work is not there. Sujata, Rahela, Suruchi, we feel bad, right? Right, Jay? We do feel bad when we've done our work and
Absolutely.
when our name is not there, right? So here, what has happened? You have never been ignored. You've just become invisible. You've been invisible all the time because you were busy but silent. Busy all day, replaceable anyway. What is one thing which you could have done in this case? Any one of you can unmute yourself and let me know where the things would have gone slightly towards yourself. Sujata. Yes, Sujata. Sujata has risen her hand.
No, it was raised before only. But if you have asked, I would have told. I would have avoided doing so because this is something really disheartening. Like if you give some valuable suggestion, it has worked, but you are not credited for that. You're not getting.
Right.
Like yeah. So I think I shouldn't be involved in that.
Perfect. Perfectly well said. So it is quite possible. It is quite possible that you are going there because you are finding it interesting, and the another reason maybe you don't want to take the ownership. These are the two reasons which could be there, right? So one thing would have been good if you are really interested in the product, you could actually tell your team, you could actually tell the team who was looking after it that, I've got really good ideas about the product design. Let's make it official. This one sentence of yours would have justified your business. Another very interesting example, which I just thought of, it's about the WhatsApp group. How many of you are not a part of any WhatsApp group? Leave aside today's session WhatsApp group. Other than this, anybody who's not a part of any WhatsApp group? I don't think so. Anybody is not a part of any WhatsApp group. So your family is planning, the entire extended family is planning a vacation, and the discussions have started. How does your WhatsApp look like in this kind of a situation? One message or hundreds of messages? How is it like?
Hundreds
Anybody?
of messages.
Absolutely, Raila. Hundreds of messages. So you have decided the date, you're not sure about the destination. So everybody is like, let's go there, and then other says, no, we can't go there. Then there's a third person who says that I'm okay with wherever you go. And you have also started adding to the chaos. You also started sending your messages. But one fine day, you realize that you have to put an end to it. So what do? You say that, listen, this is the place I suggest. Those of you in favor, please say a yes. Those of you who are not in favor, it's okay. Immediately, within no time, the number of messages, at least these discussion messages, it goes down. And finally, the date is also decided. The destination is also clear. Now here, what did you do? You took ownership. Which ended the discussion. And finally, whatever you wanted, it materialized. And after a couple of months, when everybody meets at a new place, they are happy. And everybody knows who has done the work. So you were busy, but your work was visible. Now the question arises, what can we do? How can we actually make sure that only that work comes to us, which and we're not accepting work against our own wish? How can we decide that? So this is one thing which I want to say here. When we are working in an office setup, we do have a right to say no only to a few tasks. There are some work which we have to do. So we are not talking about that. We are talking about the work which can be avoided. So for this, I have the 30% cut rule. 30% cut rule. How many of you are fond of online shopping? Nobody? I am, so I can give a thumbs up. Anybody else who's fond of online shopping? Most of us are, yes. So when we are waiting for courier, Meenakshi, when you're waiting for your courier, there is a term called as EDD. What is that EDD? Meenakshi, could you tell me EDD? Anybody? Meenakshi or anybody? Suruchi, Meenakshi, Rahila, Radhika, Frida, Sujata, Jay. What is EDD? Okay. Oh. So EDD is estimated date of delivery. So people like me, once we shop, I keep on checking EDD, when the thing would be delivered. So 30% cut rule is also EDD. But here, E stands for eliminate, D stands for delegate, and another D stands for decline. So EDD, 30% of your work. I'm talking about the work where you have a choice. 30% of the work. So retain where you own the outcome. There is some work which only you can do. Of course, you'll have to do that. And if the work is directly tied to your goals, you have to retain it. Put a question mark for the work which can be handled by somebody else. Whether, like the case study which I spoke about, whether you are there out of habit or your interest, please decide upon that. And is an email enough, or you have to be physically present in the meeting? So these are questionable tasks. And cut the task which will not produce any outcome. Cut the task where you are not needed, you are just there. And cut the tasks where you know that you're going to attend that meeting, but you are not going to implement whatever is being discussed anyhow. So please don't be a part of that task. So remember to eliminate the noise, delegate the load, decline what doesn't matter. And that's the high achievers goal. Eliminate what adds no value, delegate what others can do, and decline what doesn't matter. Yes, Radhika. Radhika has risen her hand.
So here my query is, Dipali, from an employee point of view, many a times it so happens that even though we don't want to be part of meetings, even though we
Right.
are at the back end, we
Right.
have to attend.
Perfect.
So then where does this fall into? Which category and what can be done there?
So, Radhika, as I said, that there is some task which we cannot refuse. We don't have a right to refuse at a workplace. So, I am talking about the task where we have a choice. Sometimes what we do is we just be there for the sake of being there. We are not even required, and it is not even a compulsion from the management also. So, these are the tasks where we have to properly scrutinize them. I hope that answers. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Radhika. I see a thumbs up. Okay. Like, I'll just talk about today's webinar. So now yesterday, what I did, I was preparing the presentation. So I just eliminated the extra slides, which was not solving my purpose. I eliminated that. Then secondly, I delegated the responsibility. I requested INSEA to just check the chat in the middle and decline. Well, I'm going to decline this request, politely decline the request. Suppose questions, whatever questions come from you, which I feel are beyond this topic or beyond the scope of my knowledge, I'm going to decline it positively, right? So I do follow this EDD. Anybody, can you tell me how is it helping me when I'm cutting 30%? How is it helping me? Any one of you can unmute yourself and say, how does it help me? How does this 30% cut even help me?
Saves your energy and time, Dipali.
Yes, absolutely right, Sujata. Here, what are you doing? When you are cutting 30% of your task, now you're not concentrating on 100%. You're concentrating on 70%. Obviously, it's going to save your time. Obviously, it's going to save your energy. And obviously, your concentration is going to be better on that 70%. Just remember, focus is not always about what you do. It's always, it is also on something which you deliberately ignore or deliberately plan not to do. Even that is focus. So we can avoid status meetings, some via IA calls, some non-decision discussions where we have a right to refuse. We can avoid those. How many of your parents have actually written down the expenditure of all the kharcha which happened monthly? Has any of your parents done that? My parents have.
My mother does it till today.
Yes, yes. So this is what they do. They write down what money has come, what has been spent, right? So this is something which you can also do. Write down a daily ownership log. Every day. Do it for some time. One thing you owned, one decision you influenced, one outcome you created. Please do that on a daily basis till the time it becomes a habit. So I have one question for you. Just tell me, I was talking about ownership. Do you think that ownership should change as and when the hierarchy of you change in a company, or it has to be the same? Like at junior level, do you think the ownership is different? At senior level, do you think the ownership is different? Anybody?
Definitely, Dipali. I mean,
Yes.
given thought that you see, because your designation also plays an important role in this. So,
Absolutely.
when it comes to ownership, it's something that me at a higher designation would have to definitely show better ownership to a particular task versus to my team members below. Because
Right.
one, I have to set an example, and two, of course, I at the end of it, if I don't do it, I can't expect the rest of them to do it.
Perfect. Perfectly well answered, Frida. So ownership changes as per as your level. If you are at a junior level, your ownership is to continuously upgrade yourself personally. Be task focused. Be on a learning mode. So once you're in the mid management, your outcomes are beyond yourself. You have to maybe look after your team, maybe look after the entire office. And if you are still higher on the senior management, then of course you are the one who has to make all the decisions. You have to take tough decisions, easy decisions, whatever. So if a senior management wants to do the work of a junior employee, the person is just being busy, but that work would not hold any good. If I say, if I would just want to comprise what I want to say is that be busy with the work which matters. I just want to leave you with one number. So companies who shifted from managing activity to building ownership cultures saw a 40% jump in their performance. 40% jump in their performance. And I am not talking about a different office set work, different salaries, no, the same team, same office, same salary. The only thing is that they were now busy with the right kind of work. So this is what I wanted to convey to you today. I hope you did get the message I wanted to share. And now I'll be opening, what should I say, opening the floor, or I'll be opening the session for a live discussion. All of you, please participate wholeheartedly. I would love to listen from you. I hope the message did go through. Please give me a thumbs up for this. Sujata, thank you. Suruchi, Rahila. Okay, I think Jay. Okay, thank you so much. The message did go through this, and ownership log is something which we should work upon. And please remember EDD. Now, please be active participants in the discussion. So the first question is for the managers. If any one of you is a manager or you've seen the managers closely, do you think busyness is being rewarded subconsciously, consciously? Sometimes, do you think business gets rewarded? Radhika says yes. Please, all of you, please participate. It would be lovely if we could have a discussion, you know. We could have a heated discussion about this topic. Why not? Please contribute whatever you can. Rahila, so Jay, would you want to contribute to this? Jay? And thank you so much, Jay, for being on our camera on board here. Really appreciate that. Yes.
So, my question here is to Jay. So,
Yes.
Jay, where do you think is the main issue that you face or people you think face when it comes to visibility and replaceability?
Sorry, come again.
Yeah, Jay?
One more time, please. I didn't understand the question.
No. My question is, I just need your opinion on, do you think that people who are visible are the ones who get promoted?
Sometimes yes. Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put it?
From my past experiences, I would say 7 to 8.
Really? Is it that high?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh.
that's what the feedback I got previously. So
Oh. So,
But Radhika, if yeah.
Meenakshi, would you like to add anything to this? Okay. Yes. Deepali, you were saying something?
So Radhika, what I wanted to tell Jay was that you definitely, I feel that if a person is visible, the chances of the person being more visible in the eyes of management is obviously more. But what I have learned from my experience is that ultimately it is the work which matters. So the thing which is in our hand is to just keep on working relentlessly and honestly. That is what I feel.
Okay.
You
Uh,
But
agree, Radhika, on this?
yeah,
I'd like
but
to
I
add
do
something.
feel, yeah, please, somebody wants to add something.
Frida
Yeah,
wants to say
Radhika, I'd
something.
like to add one thing to this, to what Dipali says. Yes, your
Right?
work does speak for you, but often you see, if you notice in any office, you have hard workers, you have smart workers. But the
Right.
ones who get noticed are the smart workers, not the
Smart
hard workers.
workers.
That's
Smart
because
workers.
they speak up. They do the work, but they are also, like they actually speak up in meetings, they show up. They are there. They're how do I put it? They when it comes to talking, when it comes to
I get
presenting,
it.
they
Yes.
take ownership. They get on with it. They're very much active, on those lines.
Right.
So
Right.
that's why they have a lot of precedence over a lot of other people who do the hard work but kind of prefer to stay mum about it.
Perfect. Perfect. Smart worker is always the best worker. Yes, Suruchi has something to add.
Yeah, so regarding the visibility point, I would just like to say that, yeah, it's definitely a major factor and a crucial factor that managers particularly look after when they're, deciding on either promotions or how much you're actually contributing to the work per se. So, if I'll give you two examples of two colleagues of mine, you can say
Right.
one who worked relentlessly, like you said, he's a hard worker, but at the same time, he did not make himself visible. He did not
Yes.
participate in meetings. He was just there. And I guess, what do you call it? I mean, he did work and his work did matter, but at the same time, it was not visible. Another colleague of mine, what she did was, yes, she did work, but comparatively lesser to the first person that I mentioned. But at the
Okay.
same time, what she did was even if it was a one pointer or a two pointer, etc., she made sure to mention it in meetings, to mention it
Absolutely.
either to the onshore team or to the offshore team or any meeting. She ensured that she participated in some activities that are happening in the office or some CSR events, etc. So that made her more visible in the office, which later on, she benefited from that. So
Yeah, thank you so much.
yeah, so
Please
like
complete.
in my opinion, visibility is a major contributing factor when it comes to the question that you mentioned. Yeah.
I agree with this, Suruchi. Visibility is so very important these days, right? But yes, of course, hard work and smart work, as Frida said. I think that's really, really important. Anybody else would like to add something to it? Just give me your interpretation on busy all day, irreplaceable any day. Just give me your interpretation. Or if I
So,
say a takeaway. Yeah,
so a continuation to just, to what Suruchi said just now, I can
right.
actually say maybe that we can come to a conclusion that on a scale of 10, if we are doing what do you call 4 hard work, then 2 smart work, and 3 visibility.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was
You
a
can
nice
do
stats
one
which
point
Radhika put
somewhere.
forward.
So, so 5 hard work, what do you call 2 smart work, and 3 visibility. We have to
Perfect.
do all this together so that, because that is the need of the hour.
Right, right, right.
Gone are those, again, when I was talking about technology previously, gone are those days when, we sit in front of a desk and we say, I am working hard, people will notice, nobody is going to give they're not going to consider you at all.
Perfect, perfect. So basically, it is the one thing which we have to learn is to convert our hard work into smart work. Agree on this?
Yes.
I think so. And it's really important. Converting your hard work into smart work, that's important. So be busy with the right kind of the work. There's this old saying which says busy without work. So this is something which we'll have to probably get. Do you feel that meetings are being done, too many meetings are being done around?
Yes.
Maybe
I mean,
are you there?
we attend so many meetings. The even conducting of meetings and attending of meetings are so much that
I
we
know.
hardly have time to do any work these days. That has become the corporate norm, I guess.
Right. Radhika, by any chance, any of you, did you see this program called as Ulta Pulta? It was telecast long time back. So this was this gentleman, Jaspal Bhatti, used to create satires.
Oh, yes, I remember this.
Yeah, yeah. So he spoke about meetings once and he very proudly said that this meeting has been really fruitful. Okay, what was the decision? Date of the other meeting has been decided. So it was such a nice thing. So this is a tragedy sometimes, yes. Anybody else would want to contribute something? Any questions you have?
Yeah, sometimes in the meetings
Hi,
we'll
Dipali.
join.
Yes, Jay. Yes, Meenakshi. I'll just come back to you.
Yes, yes,
Let
yes.
Jay finish.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Jay.
Yeah.
Actually, I would like to add one thing here that
Okay.
uh, hard work or smart work, always make it a point that it should get registered all time.
I know.
If if it is not getting registered, there is no point in doing all these works. And troubleshooting is the point. If someone is
Yes.
troubleshooter, he will always make it a point to get registered. So, anyways, you should be troubleshooter all the time. And before working on any problem, you should always be ready with the solution. Never work
Right.
on problem. Always try to seek solutions. So
Perfect.
troubleshooting, I think one should be a troubleshooter. uh, वो सबकी आंखों में already आ ही जाएगा. If
Right.
because troubleshooting comes with the hard work as well as smart work.
Very well said, Meenakshi. Very well said.
Yes,
As I said, that
thank you.
do the work which is visible in the review conversation. Agreed,
Yes,
Meenakshi?
yes, yes, definitely.
Right. Very well said. Jay, you were saying something?
Yeah, actually, based on the project and project managers and peoples, and also with some subject matter experts with whom we work with, the project meetings gets scheduled. Like for some project managers will schedule a call with tons of people. Everyone who
Right.
are all contributing in that meeting will be there, but everyone will be participating for 5 to 10 minutes bare minimum.
Oh,
And rest of the time, everyone will be just listening to what others say. And some project managers would directly call for their doubts and data collection instead of calling for a meeting with everyone, so that
okay.
everyone will be agreeing what he says, something like that. So based on those project managers and subject matter experts, meetings get scheduled. Sometimes I'll be there just attending, but not contributing. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Jay. And this is exactly what the topic is, busy all day. Right. And it is not even giving us fruitful results.
Yes, exactly.
Anyone with any kind of an input, please come forward. Otherwise, then we'll just close the session.
Maybe I would like to know Rahila's take on this.
Yes, Rahila.
Uh, okay. So yeah, one thing which I understood overall, that visibility is very important, and of course, smart worker wins the race.
That was short and sweet. Right.
Yeah.
So do we wind up? Okay. So just remember one thing, that just think about your colleague, a really respected colleague who probably left the office. So, and the absence has created a void. Now, was this person the busiest person around? Or was this person who took ownership, who did smart work, who took ownership? Please think about it. I leave you on this thought. And on a lighter note, if being busy was success, every WhatsApp group admin would be a CEO. On this thought, it's over to Insia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being such lovely audience. It was pleasure interacting with all of you all. Hope to see you again. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Over to you,
Thank you,
Insia.
Dipali.
Before we wind up, I really would like to know your takeaways, please. Meenakshi, could you give your takeaway?
As Rahila said that smart work always wins the race, I go with this statement, short and sweet.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So, in the same way, I would like the rest of you also to please let us know your takeaways.
Yes, Suruchi.
Radhika, sorry. Yeah, please go
Okay,
ahead.
no, Frida, please continue.
Radhika is also, Dipali, so the thing is, my takeaway is pretty clear that yes, no matter what hard work you do, you have to have visibility of yourself created. And the
Right.
only way of doing that is showing up at every meeting, talking when you need to be spoken, when it needs to be spoken about.
Perfect. Okay. Jay, your takeaway?
Yes, we have to make our ownership visible, not
Okay.
not other things should be visible. Only ownership, which we filter out to do, should be visible to the management, so that they can measure our work.
Right. So basically, we should own our decisions and also make them visible.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yes, Sujata?
Yeah, so my takeaways are that when you take up any task, take the full ownership of that, and at the same time show your face to the concerned person. That yes, I have done this job. This is something
Right.
which most of the people, we just, as per my experience, also I used to not to do that. But I think it's very important to show up
Right.
at the same
Right.
time.
Right. Thank you so much, Sujata. Suruchi, your takeaway?
Yeah, my personal takeaways would be the EDD principle that you mentioned, eliminate,
Right.
delegate, and decline. Personally,
Okay.
I'm a 22-year-old corporate employee, so I come into the Gen Z category, to be honest.
Right.
And
Right.
although there is a misconception that we do not work, we do work, but working 70% I guess, appealing to me, I guess.
Oh, well,
So
that's
yeah,
nice. Even
that and I
I
would
thought it's good. Yes.
that and
Yes.
I would, I guess, write down the tasks that I did for the day and how much I owned or attended according to that. So that I think that would help me personally to grow in the
Okay.
organization. Yeah. Thank
Lovely.
you.
So, Suruji, my this thing response is that you slayed the answer. Is this the correct response or is the incorrect response?
Slate does not come under Gen Z zone
Ah,
anymore because we
oh,
do have
okay.
our categories, honestly. So I come in the older part of the Gen Z generation.
But
Right
22 is the
now,
older part.
yeah, it's the older part. We're actually divided into two parts weirdly. So
Okay.
the newer one has a new slang that even we are not being able to catch up to. But yeah, you slayed it.
Thank you. That's nice.
Yeah.
And moreover, you know what? There was generation initially that they said that after 25 years, the generation changes. Then it came to 10 years. Now I think it's 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. So, Rahila, you've given me your takeaway. That's nice. And so over to you, Insia.
Thank you, ma'am. And um, today's conversation was not about productivity hacks, it was about honesty. Busyness is easy, ownership is uncomfortable. So, here's the question that matters tomorrow: what will you own? Not attend, not support, not observe. Own. Well, I want all of you to write down a couple of things. One thing that you will stop doing, and one thing that you will own. With that, thank you, Dipali ma'am, for those practical strategies, and a huge thank you to all of you. We hope today's session helps you shift from just being busy to truly being intentional with your time. As promised, we are sending over a takeaway to help you reclaim your schedule starting tomorrow. And while you're here, do click the Athulit Academy links to keep the conversation going. Mark your calendars for May 9th for our next bold conversation. Registration details are coming your way shortly. Thank you all once again and have a brilliant day ahead.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.